What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of the Bonfire. My name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you today. Things might be slightly different from the last episode. There's a reason for that. Essentially, I went back and I've been playing this game a lot on my phone, and I've been learning about the game because you can get this game on iOS and mobile the exact same way you can get it on the PC, and I've learned some things about it that have kind of changed the way that I look at how I orchestrate my base. We just didn't have enough guards, and we were on a collision course with Misery, and so I decided I was going to go back, and we'll just pick up from where the first episode left off, kinda, and we'll do better this time. We'll do better. We got some new Wanderers over here, and actually I've been very lucky in this playthrough in that I've gotten a lot of people who are brave. Some people might see that as a downside. I do not. It's actually okay. If you have a lot of brave warriors, you can use them for fighting, and they get like a little damage bonus. I don't know if they get a damage reduction. I don't really know what brave does entirely, but it does something that makes them better warriors. And this time around, we have all kinds of brave soldiers. It's completely random every single time you play. And so, for example, the other game that I have going on my phone right now, the game on my phone, I have a whole bunch of people who are hardworking and quick-footed, but I don't have anybody who's brave, and they are squishy in combat. So I guess that maybe brave makes you a little bit better just at all aspects of combat, whether it be the offense or the defense. Hopefully tomorrow, oh, we got a shooting star right there. Shooting star for you to see what my life can truly be. All right, there it goes, flying off to the side right there. I had to make her. I know it's Shining Star. I know it's Shining Star. You don't have to tell me. I know the lyrics to the song. It's just that it was more fitting if I said Shooting Star. That's all. It was just more fitting. As of right now, we have enough to build ourselves a pasture, but I'm going to pass on the pasture for right now. I actually think it's a much better plan to get the forge up first. I've played it both ways, and the pasture, you're not really going to have the manpower to like properly use it anyways when you first build it. The forge, on the other hand, gives you upgrades to every single worker. It gives you upgrades to every single warrior. It gives you upgrades to pretty much your entire operation. And so my suggestion would be to go with the forge. In general, we're going to be working our way right now towards, I'm happy with the equilibrium we have right now on wood gatherers, farmers, but iron miners, we need to bring those up. Guards, I'd like to have 5 or 6. The only downside to having lots of guards is there are monsters that do like AoE attacks once you get further in, and so the more guards you have, the harder they'll get whomped. These guys do not level up, they do not get stronger, but the monsters that come in and invade your territory, they absolutely do level up and they do get stronger. There's some big nasty things that come after your base after a while. I found the sweet spot to have on guards is around 6 or 7 of them. At least out to, I think I'm on like day 25 or day 27 on my mobile playthrough that I'm doing right now. And, oh, that's not a good sound. I don't know what that sound was, but it sounded like an evil toilet with tuberculosis flushing. So, oh, it's the big guy. Goody. Just what I feel like dealing with today. What's up, big guy? Let's work on his health. It's the spider monster! Spooder monster, spooder monster. Gotta stab him with a spear. He's immune to damage when he's all up in the air. Watch out! It is a spider beast. And so he dropped 1 gem. Gems, I haven't figured out what gems are used for yet. Even going like further, oh, we lost a guard. Damn it. You almost always lose a guard in this game. There's nothing you can do about it. Legitimately, there is nothing you can do about it. The difficulty curve is entirely random in this game. You don't know what you're going to get attacked by every day. And so you may just lose due to bad luck. If you get hit by like a spider monster like a night, and then the next night you get like the werewolf things, and then the third night, you know, you get a spider monster again, it's going to wipe your city. And there's nothing you can do about that this early in the game. I do think the game is in desperate need of a more linear difficulty increase. The randomness is cool and everything, but I think they need to have a much more gentle curve for getting the game going, because what can happen is you can get into a death spiral. You only get like 1 worker a day on an average day. On really good days, you'll get 2 workers, but on an average day, you get 1 worker. And so anyway, I think that's a big modification they can make. The difficulty in this game is very spiky right now, and it can end up in gameplay loops that are not necessarily super satisfying. But at the same time, I do like the game. Like my phone playthrough, I've had like very little struggle at all. And so that's what I mean by the way that it's like kind of random. Like you never know what's going to happen. Like in my phone playthrough, it's like day 20 and I rarely get attacked by anything that's actually like hard. It's mostly just wolves. Whereas on the PC, the game seems to get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more rapidly. And I'm not entirely sure if that's due to just different balancing or if it's due to just the randomness of the game. I honestly couldn't tell you. I have no idea. And so hopefully we'll get 2 workers today. That way we can replace the one that we lost. And then we can also, we still only have the 15 iron. I need to help out in the iron mine. Let's go ahead and do that. So hopefully we get 2 people today. If we get 2, that means I can replace the guard that I lost and also add somebody to the workforce, which is really, I think, the best barometer in this game for whether or not you're doing okay. It's how many workers you're piling on. If your worker number is staying standard like every single day and it's not going up and you're not like making any progress, that's usually a pretty good sign. Also, he had a cart, but he only brought out 1 iron. I think there are some little bugs in this game that come up from time to time. I saw that a little bit earlier too, where one of my guys went over here with a cart, but he only brought back 1 wood. And I was like, so why did you only bring back 1 wood, though? You have a cart. You should bring back 5. And there's no explanation for it, really. I don't know if it happens due to weather changes or something like that. These guys are still bringing in their 5s, though. But, yeah, that iron miner only brought back a 1. So we got a new wanderer right here. Let's see what his skill sets are. He is wise. I think I'm about to make him into a guard. I don't want to, but I think I'm going to have to. Like, we just need warm bodies. And so, unfortunately, today we have not advanced the city at all. 0. We've made 0 progress today, unfortunately, because we lost that guard last night, and I can't do anything about it. So there you go. There is no strategy to the way the guards fight. They kind of just do their thing. You'll lose them here and there. It's just part of the game. So if you can't deal with, like, the randomness of it, it's going to bother you a little bit, I think. But by and large, I find the game to be fairly satisfying. If you take a bunch of losses, I would just reload the day, in all honesty. Like, if you get to the fight at the end of the night and you lose, like, 2 of your guards on, like, a bad pull, you can reload the game and you'll get different monsters each time. So there's really nothing that's going to be, like, a game-ending scenario, unless you're playing on permadeath or you're playing on Iron Man. But from what I've seen so far, there's no such thing as, like, a game-ending scenario where you lose too many people to continue. As long as you know that you can click up here and you can reload the day, and when you reload the day, it'll randomize what you get at night fresh. And maybe you'll get an easier fight that you're able to breeze your way through, and then you'll last another day, and you'll get like the 2 more people that you need to fill up your city and make things easier on you. You know what I mean? Gotta do it easy. I'm gonna go in the iron mine because we're not doing anything right now anyways. Unfortunately, that is a little dangerous. If your main guy dies, it's game over. And so the further to the right of the screen that he is, the worse it is. You really don't want him to be on the right-hand side of the screen. That means he gets whomped first when everything comes cruising through, and it's going to end up being a travesty. So make sure that, like, other guards go in first before you fight stuff, and you go in last, because you are the mission-critical unit. If your little guy with his rice patty hat ends up getting whooped, it's just game over, and you got to replay the entire day. Hopefully, we don't get anything nasty tonight. What can really happen right here that can screw you over hard is there's kind of a gangly-legged, like, werewolf monster. And if you get him on the night after you get a spider monster, or you get 2 spider monsters, or you get 2 of the gangly monsters in a row, it is just a mess. Luckily, it looks like, I don't know what gods of this universe exist, but they are on our side for right now. Our warriors pulled through, and it was a very, very easy fight. There wasn't too much to concern ourselves with right there, and so I'm okay with that. Keep on working in the iron mine. In the iron mines, swinging a pick all day. In the iron mines, hard work and sweatiness. I like to point out that we're iron mining right now with our bare hands. We're not even going in there with a pick or anything else like that. I like to assume we do it via headbutts and just damage to our dentition. We go in there, we just chew the ore off the walls, and when that won't work, we just headbutt it over and over and over again. That would explain why people in this city perform so poorly on all of their government-sanctioned testing. It makes sense. It makes sense, but you just can't take that much blunt force trauma to the side of the head every single day and still be expected to be a Rhodes Scholar, you know what I mean? It's not going to work out that way. You consider yourself like a Fulbright Scholar, but in reality, it's more like a half-bright scholar, like a quarter-bright scholar, like maybe even like a fifth-bright scholar. It can be hard to tell in these situations. And so as the sun comes up, we should have our iron miner back in just a minute. Our warriors are all now retreating back to their hut to get some nap time. They do sleep during the day. That thing that I was worried about in the first episode does not happen. You don't have to rotate guards or anything like that. And boy, am I glad. That would have been a taste of redundancy. It just would have, once again, going back to gameplay loops, that would have been a really, really terrible gameplay loop to have in the title. So I'm glad that it's not happening. A one-eyed hunter arrives. We'll talk to him as soon as we're out of the iron mine. I'm over here like slaving away, trying to get some stuff to make a forge. And, alright, let's go talk to him. I gotta walk all the way back. We can't have a shouting conversation. Just like, how are you doing? And he's like, I'm good. build. Like, you can't do that from a long ways away. No. The stranger said he is hunting to feed his tribe. The winter has been harsh. I can give him 5 food. Okay, let's see what he does when I give him 5 food. The man smiles and hands over his spear to show his gratitude. Okay, we got a free spear. Also, we're done with the forge. So let's get up in here and make this thing happen. I don't think he's going to bring back 5 iron right there. It seemed like he was only in there for a second. Building forges. Ah, we got 2 villagers this time around. That's very, very good, because that allows me to diversify ever so slightly. Now that we have this, we can make tools of iron. So the iron axe, pickaxes, bows and arrows, and sickles. Things to assist people at being better at their jobs. A family has arrived. So we have hardworking and honest. Hardworking, guess what? You are a... Oof, where can I fit you right now? You're an iron miner. Go ahead. Yep, you're an iron miner for right now. We are going to craft you a cart. I may swap his job in a little bit, just because we may not need him to be an iron miner for too long. So that's our 2 iron miners. And then this guy over here who's honest. I haven't figured out how honesty factors into the game just yet. Haven't figured out that facet. However, we'll probably make him into somebody who's going to work in the pasture and start generating some random skin resources for us. The pasture makes it so that we can trade food for skins, because you feed the sheep and then they give you skins. And so anyways, I guess we don't eat the sheep, we just like skin them or something. I don't really know. We're not very good at repurposing and using the entire animal. It's just not something that we excel at. And so I'll probably take him, and since he's honest, he can be a herdsman, I guess. I don't really know how a herdsman is going to benefit us long term, but I assume it'll benefit us somehow. You go ahead and take a cart too. You get a cart! Everybody gets a cart! I should have more guards right now. Tomorrow, I think whoever we recruit is definitely going to be a guard. Like I told you, my safe spot is like 6 or 7 guards. I like to have a lot of them just because some of the fights can get a little bit... Some of the fights can get a little bit nappy. They can get a little bit matted and ugly, and so I'd rather just not deal with the problem. It's important also to remember that if anybody is inside of a place, they should always have all the tools they need in order to get their job done. So let's make a pickaxe real fast, and that'll make him harvest faster. So this increases his carry. This increases the amount that he harvests. Later on, we're going to get some new items that I still to this day have not figured out what they do. I played this game like all night last night, and these items, I have no idea. I assume they do something, but I can't figure out what their function are. Like, there's a leather bag, and I can't figure out what it does. You can't equip it on anybody. You can't really do anything with it. Like, I don't know if it's for my character or a side character or something like that. I really have no... Just one wolf? Just one wolf. Oh, never mind. There's like 5 of them. Okay, we just had like that outrunner over there that decided to do something dumb. Yeah, you guys go ahead and just kind of finish off the wolves. I will skin the beasties. Delicious and wonderful skins. Yes, go and get the one that's super far away. That wolf has a crazy bicep pec right there, though. He's definitely been going to the gym. I feel sorry for him. He put in all that work to body sculpt, and now the only thing his body is sculpting is the snow. So, yeah, it's a downer. Like, if I went to the gym that much and then I got murdered right after, I'd be kind of upset about it. I'd be like, you know, I could have been sitting around eating Twinkies and ice cream and having Pazookies and all kinds of random stuff. And now it was all for nothing. I could have had all of that good food and been a couple pounds fatter, and instead I'm just a buff dead guy laying on the ground now. I'd be really upset. You know, I tend to justify things based on the ends. Like, if it's going to end up being pointless, I'm the kind of person that's going to look back and be like, well, damn, that was pointless. And I'm just going to be upset that I wasted time on it in the first place. And that's the problem with life, is that there's no way to know if any of the things that you're going to do are going to be functional in the future. But you know what? I'm not going to be a buff dead guy in the snow. That's my point here, is that I will not be the buff dead guy in the snow. As of right now, the city is growing very, very well. And we've got the pasture land up. We've got the mine up. There are new things that we can build. The tannery. And so what the tannery does is the tannery takes these and turns them into a new resource called leather. So you take skins, and then they turn into leather. As this guy works in the pasture over here, we're going to keep an eye on our food surplus, just to make sure that we're not eating off like 10 to 15 food a day. It is very easy, if you're not balancing things properly, or if you just don't know, to end up in a situation where you're not getting out what you want. And so those guys got the 5 food right there. I'm actually waiting to see where the herdsman is at. I don't know if he just like generates from over here, or if he actually has an animation where he walks around. We've got some more iron up and running. One more pickaxe. We got to get iron faster. And so there's another pickaxe right there. Once we're done with that, we'll start putting wood axes on these guys. We'll put sickles on the farmers. They increase their gathering rate. In case you're wondering what it does, when they go down into the mine, they stand there for a designated amount of time. And if you have a pickaxe, it cuts that in like half. Whereas the cart designates how much they're actually able to loot before they bring it back. And as you saw with this guy right here, he's coming back up way more rapidly. We got 5 gems right there. Don't know what the gems are for. Never had a chance to use the gems. I figure we'll figure it out in the future. The bow and arrow is for a new class called the Scout. I don't know what they do. I've never made one. Once I found out the bow and arrow was not for combat, I just never looked at it again. And that might have been a mistake. That might have been me messing up, but like, I saw that it didn't really do anything that I was excited about, and so I never looked at it again. I'm sure we'll make one in this playthrough, though, because we kind of have to find out. This dude over here is walking down into town, and I'm really hoping that he's going to... you Braveheart, Mike, you Braveheart. I'm hoping that he's Braveheart. If he's not, then he's going to be... He's going to be relegated to a job assignment that I get the feeling he's probably not going to enjoy very much. I have an extra spear. I need an extra torch so that he can go to war and fight against the wolfy folk. As far as these workers go, he's here. He is quick-footed and he is not eaten in days. Quick-footed means he moves twice as fast as everybody else. He'd probably make a pretty good scout. And there's no guarantee that like he's going to be okay though if I go that direction. So he's going to be a guard for right now. And if I start getting brave people, I'm going to start replacing these other people, and we'll take the guys like the quick-footeds and whatnot, and we'll send them out to be scouts and explorers and other stuff. There is a thing called a warrior in this game. I haven't got a chance to make it yet. I don't know exactly what it does, but there is a thing called a warrior in this game, and it is differentiated from a guard. And he doesn't seem to fight at night. He just walks around with like a shield, and he just like walks around. I haven't figured out what he does yet. There's a lot of unexplained things in this game where like having a certain thing won't matter until a certain event comes up or something like that. And then if you have that, then you'll be in good shape. But if you don't have that, you'll miss out on loot or something. And so a lot of the time you're just making new classes and waiting it out to see what happens. I assume the scout tells me when I'm going to get attacked by, or he diminishes the attacks that are coming in or something. We'll figure it out tomorrow. As of right now, though, our economy is looking really good. I'm happy with the way things are going. And I'm thinking we should be able to pull through this so long as we don't get too many nasty combats in a row. That's going to be the big stipulation sticking point for right now in our playthrough. So here comes the enemy. Just like the sunlight, the enemy is coming for us. Wolves! Looks like we're actually getting lucky in this playthrough. We got unlucky with that spider beast so soon in. But it looks like we're only getting wolves for right now, and that's given us a couple of days to build. That's really good. I've had a couple playthroughs of this game where it just will not give you a pass, and you just keep getting hit by big, nasty things, and you're like, oh my god, please stop. Please stop, Splatty can't take it. Splatty's brow is very furrowed right now. It's so furrowed, and he doesn't need new wrinkles. He's developing those all by himself anyways. And so another day dawns upon us. I think we're going to be all right. I was a little worried that we got a spider monster that early at the beginning of the episode, but I think it's going to work out. We have enough guards right now to where I don't think I have to put on any new guards today unless they're brave or whatever. If they've got the right stats for it, I'm always going to assign them to guard duty. But if it turns out that we don't get the person that we wanted, or even luckier, we get 2 or 3 people today, woof, that would be perfect. I would love to get 2 or 3 people. The tannery, we need a little bit more iron to get that done. I personally, though, am much more interested in getting all of our workers outfitted with things to make them a little bit more effective at their jobs first. And so with the woodcutters, let's give them axes. There we go. And so they will chop wood ever so more rapidly. They'll put a bit more effort in. That's the difference with fleet-footed people right there. You can see them. They move really, really fast compared to everybody else. And so you can see them chopping with the axes now. I do appreciate that the developers took the time to add that in. Like, your characters actually carry around and use the tools that it says that they have, unless they go down into a location like the mine. But there's 10 more iron right there. That's looking pretty good. The one thing that I would like to see is the ability to equip your character with more stuff, but I haven't, gotten to do that yet. I would like to give my character a cart and give my character, like, a pickaxe and stuff like that, but I don't think that's an option from where I'm sitting in the game right now. Mostly, I would just outfit my character to be a warrior, but keep him as, like, that one guard that can't go down, you know what I mean? We can clear out the western pass. It's only halfway through the day, so that's going to expand the map to the left, just like we expanded it to the right in the previous episode. And that's going to give us more room to play around with. We also have the resources that we need for the tannery. Unfortunately, we don't have any workers to work inside of the tannery. But it looks like our food is holding. It looks like the western path has been cleared. And so now we have access to the river, which allows us to make a shipyard, which gives us access to a new class, the Explorer. They can go out on boats and look for new lands. And they just like bring random stuff back with them as far as I know. I haven't seen anything too exemplary happen from it just yet. That isn't saying that nothing crazy will happen if you use Explorers. But I've had an Explorer for about a week in my playthrough on the side. And so far, I haven't seen a whole lot of payout from it, so we're just going to have to keep an eye on it and watch in this playthrough and figure out if it's going to do something that we want it to do. We can also build a hut by the river. The hut by the river makes it so that your coal miners who go inside of here, your explorers, and all the people that are going off to the west, they don't have to go all the way back over to this area. Instead, they stop off right here to take care of their business. Now, it looks like we've got 2 new people today. That's really good. That's what we want, and so let's keep it tight. Hopefully at least one of them is brave so I can have 1 soldier and 1 tanner. That would be the way that I want to do it. So a small family has arrived, and they're looking for shelter. Let's wait for the second one to get here. All right. So we have 1 brave. That's good. So let's go ahead and we will make a spear and a torch. This guy right here who has the brave trait, he is going to be a guard. And in his little guard menu, we'll go ahead and give him a spear. And then this other guy right here who is honest, we will make him into a tanner. Now, just because he's a tanner, that's not why we made him live on the outskirts of town, okay? It's not because he has an abrasive personality. In fact, I went to a dinner party with him, and he was quite pleasant. The problem is the tannery stinks. And actually, a tannery would never be in the middle of town like this. They used to have laws in medieval Europe and medieval China and medieval pretty much everywhere that tanners had to live outside the city walls. That was, if you tanned hides for a living, it stunk. It stunk really, really bad, and it was considered a menace to public health, which is saying something for a time period where the bubonic plague was ravaging the earth. All right, that's saying something. That, like, the smell was so bad that people thought that it was a public health hazard back then when there was basically no public health services at all. It's fairly incredible, but yeah, tanners had to live outside the town. It'd be much more likely that the tanner would be on the opposite end of that wall right there, just all by his lonesome outside of town. Property values were not super great in the tannery side of town, or the cannery side of town, actually. If you have a place with a cannery in it, you'll know how they smell. Canneries do not smell amazing, unless they're like fruit canneries, but I was thinking more along the lines of fish canneries. They don't smell good. Like, if you've ever been to a seaside town, almost every single seaside town has a place called Cannery Row, Cannery Row. And they never smell good. It's never a place that you want to be long-term. It's always a place that you're like, eh. Like, a lot of the times nowadays, it's like touristy. It's a place that you go for tourism and whatnot. But Cannery Row tends to be the part of town that smells like fish, if it's still operational. It smells like fish real bad. Processed fish. We've gotten really lucky in this playthrough. I don't really know what to say aside from that. We've gotten super lucky. For these workers over here, the tanner needs a cart so that he can do 5 hides at a time. It's going to take him like all day to do 5 hides. If you want to have a decent amount of leather, you're going to have multiple tanners. It's just you're not going to be able to work your way around it. You can make up for certain things like iron miners by just having pickaxes and things of that nature, but the tanner is not one of those things. You just got to have more of them if you want it to work. I can make a hut by the river, or let's make a bow and arrow. I'm curious what the scouts do, because I've never really played around with them that much. And so we'll make a scout next, and we'll see what the scout does. I might be making a massive mistake, but I want to know what things do in this game, and I'm trying to show off the title so that you can decide if you want to buy it or not. And a lot of people said they wanted to see more in-depth gameplay of it. And so anyways, that's what I'm attempting to do. But we are out of time for right now. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Bonfire. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like down below. That's the best way to help the Nerd Castle out and keep us trucking. If you wanted to hang out live, you can do it at the stream, twitch.tv/SplatterCatGaming. And of course, if you wanted to tweet at me and just be like, yo, your head looks like a rhombus, you can do that at twitter.com/SplatterCatGames. All those links are going to be down in the description for you, including this title. I will see you all next time. Thank you for stopping on in, and hi-do, everybody.